Welcome to Helping Hands, the program where we come together to celebrate the people across this wonderful country who make the world a better place. Coming up today,
give people an opportunity just to quietly contribute and make sure nothing gets wasted and nothing is not appreciated. We appreciate everything that we're given.
the second part of the Wentworthville Uniting Op Shop.
Community is going to look very different for you if you're an introvert or an extrovert. So I don't think there's rules around it, but I really think it's about finding ways that you can connect with people you care about.
The panel discuss the benefits of community connection, and we invite you to connect at helpinghands.tv. Last week, we saw the first part of the Wentworthville Uniting Op Shop and the community spirit among the volunteers and also the shoppers. Today, we'll see the positive impact the Op Shop is making outside of its four walls.
This looks lovely in here.
It does look good, doesn't it?
This is Cassandra, she's one of our volunteers.
We did have a customer here come here a lot. Well, you know the one that did theatre shows and always got his outfit?
Oh yes, we had one of the dressers who worked in musicals, and he used to come here because sometimes we'd have quite, retro clothing or quite bright clothing, and he would come here to buy that.
We even have people come here purely to buy kids stuff, or I will have people come here to send things to Fiji or other countries, and they'll buy a bulk, big piles of clothes which will cover the entire front table type of thing, and they'll send it for family or friends, and sometimes when in that situations, Anne will give them a discount on it as well to help them out.
Oh, I'm just seeing what it is. If it's I'm a coin collector, so I always carry this.
Probably been shopping here probably 10 years plus, when I can. But most of the time, at least once a week. Over the years, you can pick up a few things, but I also come here for the people. I've met a few people here, and we sort of discuss what we found or what we're looking for and stuff like that. The connection for community, I find I used to come here before it was actually like this. It used to be like a house. A group of older women in the centre sorting out the stuff. And I used to talk to them, and I used to help them. Sometimes I'd fix the back door, and I don't know, it's sort of like you're speaking to an old grandmother or something, and you'd just have a bit of a chat and talk, and you'd move on.
This is what I just bought from Cecily.
Someone had a fantastic dream that we could open an opportunity shop here to help the local community. It's one of the lowest socioeconomic local government areas in New South Wales. Sometimes people who are new to our country come out this way. It's cheaper to get housing, to get rental. They're looking for ways to get on their feet, get started in Australia. People have a lot of needs, and something like this, which provides all sorts of goods for low prices, makes a big difference.
This is our jewellery section. We have a lot of different types of jewellery. These are our good jewellery that we put a lot on. It's just very ornate. It's got the necklace and the earrings for pisties, and these are just our cheap bangles for kids. This is just one of the types where they can sort of look at the price tag. These are all donated to us. Some come in with other clothing or bric-a-brac. Sometimes when we get the really good stuff, we take them to a jeweller who assesses them and gives us an idea of what price we should put on them. Price range, children's bracelets are 10, but generally they're from 50 cents up to about $10. sometimes the better jewellery are a bit more. We just have a great fun time, and it's really nice to get out of the house and be with other people without being pressured.
Don't go anywhere, there is more to come.
Give people an opportunity just to quietly contribute and make sure nothing gets wasted and nothing is not appreciated. We appreciate everything that we're given.
The board that was there, has it gone? It's around the corner. Yeah, it's around the corner.
Another great thing about this op shop is all the little background things that get done to make it run smoothly, to make it an open, welcoming, clean, hospitable, nice place to be. One of the members cleans once a week. No big deal, she just comes in, does a cleaning. Others of our members will take home, we might have a donation of clothes, take them home and wash them, iron them, make them look presentable. Just these little background jobs that give people an opportunity just to quietly contribute and make sure nothing gets wasted and nothing is not appreciated. We appreciate everything that we're given.
I'm cutting up the rags. These are sheets, or they're doing the sheet now that has been brought in by the customers, and we find when we go and sort them all out that they've been soiled or they're torn or they're frayed, and the only thing they get for is to cut them up for rags, which we do. He takes them to the factories and they use them for cleaning down machinery. It looks a very simple process, but you have to be very careful when you're cutting them up for a number of reasons. When you get something like this, it's a cotton sheet, it's very easy to cut it, snip at the top, for example, and then tearing it. But then when you tear, you get all the frayed cottons, and those sort of things can catch your machinery and cause an injury. So it has to be cut by a pair of scissors. I would estimate I've done hundreds of kilometres of rags cutting them up. So, and all types of rags, from sheets to pillowcases to singlets, shirts. We have to be very careful when we're cutting up shirts that we make sure we cut all the buttons off. We keep the buttons and then we sell them in the op shop. I only got involved in cutting rags up because they decided that they would keep that sort of thing instead of chucking all that sort of stuff out. So I put my hand up to do it and still doing it.
I've been volunteering here since 2016. When I volunteer here, I just love the fact that I feel like I'm accomplishing something, I'm helping someone, I'm like helping someone find something cheaper than if they're struggling tight for money, and they can, I've seen it many times before, like someone's recently moved houses and they're struggling and they could fill out their whole kitchen with like brick and brack, and like they didn't have the like plates and cups and whatever they need, and it makes me happy like talking to so many different people and stuff.
I'm Angela Cook and I've been volunteering here for about 20 years. I look after the craft, so when we get donations in, I take it all home and sort it and see whether it's saleable, useful. The sort of things that might come in, like this is an embroidery set. Somebody bought it a few years ago, no doubt. They started doing it, they changed their mind or for whatever reason decided they didn't want it anymore. So we put our price on it and put it in the shop. Knitting needles, if there's a pair, we keep the pair. If there's just one, we'll probably throw the odd one away. This is that sort of sand that kids put into bottles and make decorative sort of things. I mean, we're selling that 50 cents a bag, but it's about $6 retail. It's cheap, you know, it's affordable. People come in, you know, looking for things for all different kinds of reasons. They might come in and sell the buttons, they're 10 for 20 cents, and they might buy a handful of those buttons and glue them onto a picture, and they haven't paid a lot of money. It's great to be able to come here and do that kind of thing.
If you are a helping hand, or would like to see a helping hand from your local community featured on this program, visit our website and be in touch. We'd love to hear about the people and organisations across Australia who are making the world a better place.
It's wonderful to see this initiative, which was started by a local community to serve its members, now reach beyond its four walls and make a positive contribution to the diverse mix of people who now call Australia home. Next week, we will see the third and final instalment of this story and the positive impact it is making around the world. Welcome back to Helping Hands, the program where we celebrate the people who make the world a better place. Joining Laura Bennett in the studio today to discuss the benefits of community connection is Colette Smart, Raewyn Elsgood and Mark McCrindle.
Hi there, thank you so much for joining us. With me on the panel today, we have Raewyn Elsgood, the Sports Chaplaincy New South Wales Coordinator. We've got psychologist and teacher Colette Smart and social researcher Mark McCrindle. Thank you all so much for being here. Colette, let's start with you. This idea of community, seeking out connection, why is that something that we want in life?
I think as human beings we're made for relationship. I think we're made for connection, for all the wonderful things that our technology has given us. We still need that face-to-face, skin-to-skin contact, which we see in kangaroo care, given to preemie babies. But I just think as human beings, our community gives us that sense of connection. And I always talk about this incredible study. It's an 80-year-old study that was originally just done on men and blue-collar workers. They were also uni students at the time. And they wanted to know by the time they got to the end of their lives, what would lead to happiness. They didn't know. And so they predicted it might be your big house, it might be your career success. Really at the end of the study, well, it's not the end, they're still going, is love equals happiness, full stop. Really, what that says is connection. It's not about the amount of people you're connected with, it's really just the quality, but it's connection.
And Mark, one of the ways we find connection is through sporting groups, through social clubs, etc. From the research you've done, what kind of place do those sorts of things have in our sense of community connection?
Well, an increasingly important place because we are so disconnected. The fastest growing household type in Australia is the solo person household, people living alone. Partly that's a factor of an ageing profile, but it highlights the need for us to be proactive in connecting. We also see, particularly over the last couple of years, people are moving house more frequently. We're just churning across from location to location. That means we're not able to put down roots as deeply in our community and have that connection. The latest census data shows that the number one health condition Australians are living with is mental health, as Raewyn and Colette will know so well. And so that tells us that something's not going as well as it could with our connection. And you add to that, technology, which can be helpful, but as Colette said, it's not always. It can get in the way of that skin-to-skin true connection. And we ran our own study recently on this and found very surprisingly, startlingly, that 1 in 6 Australians say that they have never been part of a flourishing community. Wow. And a similar number, 4 million Australians in this study, they said that they feel lonely often. Out of all the options, they chose often. So that tells us there's a lot to be done, and through these various connections in our society, if we're proactive, we can help heal some of that challenge and create the engagement that our community so much needs.
Yeah, and there's plenty of ways you can find that. And I know, Raewyn, with sport, that's something that has been a long-standing part of our cultural community, the way that we connect with one another. When you look at sport, what is it about that, do you think, that really brings people together in such a unique way?
Well, I think we all just want to be together, don't we? We're Aussies. Culturally, we love sport. And I think one of the things I would say to even the panel is, what sport team do you go for?
Oh,
yeah, you would all have one, wouldn't you?
We would.
Yeah.
You have to think hard about it.
And I even know Colette because our daughters played netball together and we met on the sidelines as mums.
Right. So when we talk about how to create a healthy community then, Colette, as a mum, as a psychologist, as a teacher, you're working across quite a few different spaces. How do you form healthy connection and community?
So that's going to look different, I think, if you're an introvert or an extrovert, or as psychologists love to create new terms, ambiverts. An introvert is someone who isn't necessarily shy, they just need more downtime, and an extrovert is someone who really gets their energy from people. So community is going to look very different for you if you're an introvert or an extrovert. So I don't think there's rules around it, but I really think it's about finding ways that you can connect with people you care about, people in your community, either through shared interests or sport or a hobby. It's really got to be something that works for you and for your community.
And would you say, Mark, for the Australians that felt like that was lacking in their life, is that what's missing, that idea of having a like-minded person that you can spend time with, or is it something else?
It is. It's that authentic, genuine engagement. And this is the challenge that we have as Australians when we go to solve this problem of being alone or lonely or feeling disconnected. Is the number one place that Australians say they go to for community is the shopping centre. You know, it's the food court, it's the cafe. Now that's okay, but if all it is congregating, just vicariously feeling that there are other people around as I eat my meal by myself, that's not true community. There's another C beyond that, and that is the word that Colette was using, connect. And so that's actually doing life, it's engaging, it's being authentic, it's sharing, and it's being a bit open. And probably there's a third aspect of community that I see, and that is to contribute. Because communities are at their best when we're looking out for others, not just being served, but serving, making a contribution. Volunteering is up in Australia, and I'm happy to see that. You know, compared to other countries, about 1 in 5 Australians volunteers. Now, because of the last few years of lockdowns and other things, it's been a bit impaired, but that does show that we value contributing and engaging with others, helping others, rather than just meeting our own needs by connecting with others alone.
And that makes me think straight away of Sports Chaplaincy, which is a volunteer-based initiative. In the communities that you're working with, what do you think it is about that dynamic, whether it's from a chaplaincy point of view or just observing sport teams, that makes it a healthy community? Why is it so engaging?
I think it's engaging because we care. People want to have that shared sense of care for each other, and they have this sense of, I want to have a purpose in going out, you know, to a sport. A lot of parents end up coaching. You know, I chaplained my own daughter's netball club. That's how I found the chaplaincy space in the first place. I didn't play sport. You know, does it look like I play sport? It's one of those funny things where you go, I'm a mum and I care enough. My daughter had anxiety and she wanted a team sport to contribute to help her with that space. And then, of course, as a mum, I wanted to give back to it because I got so much myself.
That speaks so much into young people finding their tribe. You know, some young people don't find their people at school. And I often say to young people, that's okay. You often will find your tribe in interests like sport. And you also speak about, you know, wanting to know someone cares. Community is just someone's actually listening to me. Someone actually cares about my life. I think that's so important.
And if you're that person who's feeling like you don't have enough connection to community, how would you suggest, Colette, that you engage, that you step in to a new environment potentially and find that?
It's fascinating. There's some research that I teach undergrads in social psychology, which we call proximity. And essentially, really, that's what it is, being in a proximal area of somebody else. And you can't make friends or be friends if you aren't in somebody else's area or space. So we've actually got to get ourselves out, as hard as it can be sometimes. You don't need to be the life of the party, but getting out to a sporting community or a musical community or somewhere other than the shopping centre that you can connect with other people and find interests and something common.
Thank you so much for that thought, and thank you all for your contributions. Appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
If there's a topic that you'd like to see discussed on Helping Hands, visit our website and be in touch. We love talking about the things that make the world a better place.
What did you think of Raywin's idea of serving in a community which aligns with your values? We'd love to hear what works for you. Connect with us at helpinghands.tv. There are many benefits of being part of a vibrant community that resonates with your personal and social values, and receiving as much as you give is certainly one of them.
Let us know about the Helping Hands in your local community at helpinghands.tv. Send a photo or a short video and tell us about your local heroes in 25 words or less.
Thanks to Colette Smart, Raywin Elsgood and Mark McCrindle for joining Laura in the studio today, and thank you for joining us. Connect with us throughout the week and let us know about the Helping Hands in your local community. See you next week.